What's up, everybody? Look, listen up. We got the music back. We got the studio setup back. I got my intro rolling, right? We here in the RV though. How'd it happen? How'd it happen, everybody? Happened because I threw a bunch of shit in my suitcase that it wasn't closed, all right? And welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're here with the Bravo Zulu Network. I'm excited. Like having my original equipment and everything has me excited. That's the best way to go. Y'all know me. I'm Josh. We're getting back into it with the MCPON letters, okay? Let me pause that right here. Okay, get that off there. I got the AC cutting on and off. You might see a little bit of sweat forming across my fat brow, and that's just how we're gonna roll tonight. And leave comments right now. Drop a comment. Have you read the MCPON letters? Are you interested in them? Are you not interested in them? Just trying to get feedback with them, right? We're gonna jump right into this. We're gonna try to make this under 1 hour. We got 59 minutes to go. I got it pulled up right here. All right, this from MCPON. I'm a couple weeks old, late. Look, I went and spent Labor Day with the family back home. Oh, like fills my heart to be with my wife and my children. It was great. Man, I needed it. I need like 1 month is too much. I can't stand it. But let's get in this character page right here. All right, as part of the letters I released last year, I haven't read this at all. Right, I keep seeing it. I haven't really dug into this at all. I have no prepared papers or notes or anything. I'm reading it, giving you an honest gut reaction as a chief, just to fucking throw things out there, and you take it for what you want. As part of the letters I released last year, I discussed how character is as equally important as technical competency in making a great chief petty officer. We talked about those last year. You go check those out if you'd like. Our character and competency together make up the credibility of a chief that serves as the cornerstone in building trust in our sailors and their confidence in the decisions and actions we take. All right, I got a little Topo Chico twist and lime beverage here. It's a non-alcoholic beverage. It's so good. Like that carbonated. I didn't know I like carbonated water like that. So right out the gate, he's talking about what makes up credibility. I think that's good and important because a lot of laying the keel discussion and stuff, they start talking about credibility, how we lose our credibility real quick. I've lost my credibility before with the mess with sailors. I've gained it back before with the mess with the sailors, with skipper, captain. Credibility comes and goes, but every time you lose a little bit, you have less and less, right? So, it's just one bad decision. One bad decision, you lose a little bit of credibility. I don't know why I can't talk this today. It is warm too. Credibility that serves as a cornerstone in building trust. Again, big. It's not in bold or anything, but like if you just read it and pay attention and you've been doing this or you want to do this or at any level of leadership, you have to build trust, all right, in our sailors and their confidence in the decisions and actions we take. I kind of really like this, right? Because he's speaking to like, to use his word, cornerstone, right, of a couple things that we really need to be doing as chiefs, that we should always be doing, that we sometimes fail in doing, but it should bring us back to center and be like, hey, don't forget this as the chief is what you're going for. I know a lot of people take issues with these letters. A lot of people fucking rip into them bad. And I don't think I've done it that bad, but I've had bitches and gripes about some of them. But really, if you really just look at it, like I don't need MCPON to tell me how to do my job or how to be a chief. Okay, if you need that, if you're a chief out there or a sailor saying that he needs to like make these elaborate lesson plans and like and the way some people say it is like sit down and teach every mess, or the CMC should be teaching every chief in their mess, hey, this is exactly how you're going to be a chief and chief every day. We're completely lost as a Navy. And I know a lot of sailors out there don't trust the chief's mess, don't have confidence in our decisions and the actions we take. Again, that goes back to because we as a collective have made bad decisions that have taken away credibility. We as a collective also try to make really good decisions and support and lead our sailors, okay? So it goes back and forth, all right? But the world loves negativity, especially today's world loves negativity. So we're always going to shine a light on that negativity a lot more, okay? Let's keep reading. The three main attributes of character I would like to discuss are professionalism, integrity, and accountability. Okay. Let me get over here. All right. The sections below contain a series of questions each mess should use as a guide to their discussions. So again, excuse me. He put this out, and this is supposed to be a take these letters, read them in the mess with the selects, okay? The whole collective mess that will be the mess in 3 weeks or whatever it is, okay? And talk about this shit, right? Again, I don't need a course curriculum to fucking tell me how to talk about it. The part of just being real, like, just let it rip. And have the honest discussions of getting fucking ripped up. I'm like, no, I don't like your fucking opinion. I think it's trash. Let me tell you why. And if you can't take that sitting in there, you probably don't need to be in there, okay? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one that stinks, all right? Maybe you didn't clean good enough. So, again, we don't need to act like, we don't need hard, like, at least I don't. Some people do, maybe. I'm just not one of those people that, like, give me the curriculum or give me, 50 hours in lesson in person from someone who thinks that they know how to do my job and lead my sailors when they don't even know my fucking sailors. Okay. So let's get into the bullet point number 2. His first discussion, main attribute here, professionalism. Conduct is in alignment with the Navy core values. Chiefs of character always act with honor, courage, and commitment. They are the model of humility, show empathy, and are authentic in how they lead. Okay, so a couple of these things I have failed at, right? I've not always aligned myself with the Navy core values. Honestly, and today I tell people, like, my values do not align with the Navy right now anyways. What are you going to say to that? Does that mean I'm a bad chief? No, it means that I know I'm ready to retire and I'm ready. Like, my values are not the same. My values are my family and things outside of the Navy. It's no longer the honor, courage, and commitment. But that's okay, right? I can still do the job without saying, my core values are the Navy's core values. And do you need to know honor, courage, and commitment? Yes, you do. If you want to be successful in this, that's going to play some kind of role in your values of being a chief or any kind of khaki leadership, any kind of sailor, okay? In the model of humility, look, me and my boy Nick, we've talked about this on previous episodes, right? About how during our seasons, he got caught out by his mother. Shout out Nick, Nick's mom, right? About like how the things we struggled with was the humility part. I never looked at my boy and been like, man, you are a cocky son of a bitch. I've always looked at him like I didn't even know him when I met him, right? But like, yeah, this motherfucker knows what he's doing, right? Like I think again, people get this humility thing mixed up. Okay, people think being humble or humility is like you walk around with your head down, right? That's what you're supposed to be doing. Oh, he's humble because we never hear them talk. Oh, he's always walking around with his head down. Like, that's not humble. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's not how I was raised. Okay, I wasn't raised like that. I'm a chin up, chest out, shoulders back. Like, I'm walking through here kind of person. That doesn't mean that you don't have humility or you're not humble. Okay, that's just maybe how your parents raised you. To walk around with confidence, not to be soaking around looking like a schmuck or something. Okay, so humility is having that you're not the most important thing, right? You're not putting yourself up on the pedestal, and I've had some sailors say I am. I've had some sailors say I'm not. I don't know. I could tell you, yeah, I'm humble. I don't think highly of myself. I really don't. Who am I? I'm just a cog in the machine that's going to keep going after I retire. So how fucking important could I be? Okay. If you're a person that thinks you're so important that, you got to be there for every evolution. You got to be there for this. You can never take leave. That's a motherfucker that's not humble. And that's a lot of sailors at all ranks thinking that they're the only one that can do that. I was talking to an E5 and they're like, they're going to get out and they're like, yeah, I've done all these troubleshootings for all these ships and I got a job lined up that pays $500,000 a year because I'm so good. And it's like, you want to talk about not humble? That's not a humble. That dude, they think they are the gift to the fucking Navy. And maybe sometimes we've all been there a little bit when we were junior, and then it kind of breaks off as we get senior and stuff. And by the time you're here, you should understand that you're not important. You're important to your people to do and the right thing and lead them. That's about it. Show empathy. Cool. We're there. All right. And authentic in how they lead. So how do you show empathy? I think if you look up the word, and a lot of people, it's been discussed a lot more nowadays, right? Showing them that I don't even look at it as like a that you care, right? It's more, and I look, I'm not good with English words and shit, but like it's more of like that you understand that they feel how they feel. That's how I look at it. You let me know in the comments if I'm close to it or whatever. How do you display empathy, right? Me, I try to display it like okay, like go ahead and talk to me. Let me know what's going on. Let me listen, and then with the head nod, I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand. And something I like to do is when a sailor comes to an issue, a lot of people like to be like, oh, I know what you're going through. Are you sure you know what the fuck they're going through? Have you been through the exact same thing? Right? Maybe their parent died. You've had a parent die. You did not have the relationship with your parent that they have with theirs. So I tell sailors a lot of times, like, you know what? I have no idea what you're going through, but please let me know how I can support you and help you out and make things the best to support you in whatever you're going through. All right. And then you got to come with the like hard facts of like, that doesn't mean you just get all the time off in the world, but that does mean like, if you need appointment time, I need to know all your appointments, right? If you need to come in a little bit later in the morning, I need to know what days, what times, things like that, right? And I think that is what shows empathy and makes them think like, damn, man, Chief gets it, right? You don't have to have gone through the exact same thing, but stuff like that. At least that's what I do, and you can let me know if I'm fucked up or not. And are authentic in how they lead. That is the biggest one to me, okay? Because I've talked about authenticity, right? Keeping it real before, and a junior sailor can sniff that out, okay, and know if you're keeping it real, if you're being authentic, whatever. All right. There's a lot of chiefs that are not authentic in the way they lead. They think that we chiefs, sometimes I think we fall into this like, no, there is this one way that we lead, that we should lead, that we want someone to tell us how to lead exactly because they don't know how. They don't know how. Everyone here has heard, you got to lead every sailor a little bit different, right? Every sailor doesn't respond to the same stuff, things like that, okay? If every sailor doesn't respond the same, you got to lead them different, then every chief has to be able to lead 100 different ways. So you can't give us a cookie cutter, nope, you're going to lead this way, you're going to lead this way, you're going to lead this way. Why? Because sailors don't need to be led all the same way. So when people start talking that shit about like getting rid of the season and making a course curriculum and that we should be in a fucking classroom for 2 weeks learning how to lead, that does not produce a leader in the least bit, in my opinion. And I'm just me. You can let me know in the comments if you disagree with that, okay? But to me, that doesn't add up. And then more so to that, like the life at sea is unlike every other service branch, no shit. With just the things we have to deal with and the close proximity and all that kind of stuff, man, I think that really plays into a lot of why we do things the way we do them. You can say it's just a tradition. Some of those traditions, like, it makes sense given the circumstances, okay? So, again, back to the authenticity. You got to have that authenticity. What does that mean? I don't know what it means for you, okay? I know what it means for me. That means that, like, although my sailors, some may look outside from another division or something and look at me like, damn, you treat your sailor like shit. I can't believe you say all those things to him. All right. My sailor knows what I'm saying to them. They know the affection behind it. They know when I'm clowning, when I'm serious. They know how far they could push their bullshit against me. But you're not my sailor. You don't work for me. So you haven't been like bought in on my leadership. I haven't been bought in on how to lead you. Right? So outside eyes could be looking at that and be like, they're fucked up. They're doing it all wrong. Okay. But I don't give a shit about that. What I care about is, are my sailors responding to me, and are they getting that mission done that I need them to get done for the ship? And whatever means I need to do to get that, I'm going to do that. All right. Are you the model of behavior? No. What we could break that down, like you could start asking, like, because this is a question, right? This is a question that MCPON puts in here. So if this was being discussed and you say, hey, are you the model of behavior? Everyone's a model of fucking behavior. Whether it's good or bad behavior, you're a model of it, right? If they see a bunch of chiefs doing that thing, then that's the model behavior of the Chiefs mess. As we talk about laying the kill and all this shit. So this is like really kind of baseline things. But I look at it, here's the humility part, if we want to go there, right? Is like, can you say, like, no, I'm not the model behavior? I'm not the model of behavior. I don't think people should act like me. I think it's one of those that catchy little, be better than me. Do better than me. Don't make me the same mistakes I've made. Let me tell you the mistakes I made so you cannot make them, right? If you're looking at it from a junior level perspective, junior sailor perspective, right? Who in the room am I looking at that is the behavior I want to model? Even if you had 10 chiefs and you said none of them are anything negative, they all still model different behavior, okay? Through all kinds of little things. Sailors are looking at fucking what car you're driving, what truck you're driving, what time you come in, what time you leave. All that could be in before liberty or expires and out as the last man. They all take different things away from that. So how can anyone try to judge the question, are you the model behavior, as like, no, Chiefs all fucking suck? Yes, a lot do. Yes, a lot are great. And then there's a whole lot of there just mediocre. Okay? And it's really the mediocre ones. It's kind of like pick a fucking side. Okay? Like, you're just sitting in the middle, like, get the fuck out of the way. I would say the ones that are in the middle, just mediocre, are the biggest problem of all. Because you're going to have rotten apples no matter where you go, no matter what. Okay? And that is a small percentage. And a small percentage is great. But the large majority that are mediocre as fuck, that are the problem. Excuse me. Our actions, our behaviors, or our actions are our behaviors, which become our habits and reflect our character. Yeah, I mean, I stumbled over the words there, but okay, right? Like, yeah, you can reword it or do whatever you want, but yes, like when you do the same thing that when you go to the gym every morning at 05, that becomes the habit, right? That becomes your character. You become that dude. You become that chief, that leader, that first class, whoever it is, right? Whatever you want. I'm just saying chief a lot because it's the MCPON putting it out to the mess. Substitute whoever the hell you want to put in there, okay? You become that that becomes part of your character, all right? Whether it doesn't matter if you're a fat body or not. People are like, yeah, no, yeah, they're fat, but they're always in the gym. That's their character, and that's a good thing, right? Success, bold words. Success is measured by the achievements of your team. Yes. Again, how can one argue with that? Okay. This is a statement and it's in bold. Your team, your division, your whatever fucking place you're at, those that you're in charge of leading, that you get that responsibility for, their success is your success. Okay. I don't know. It's something I break down to my sailors, right? When I was on ship, I say, hey, you guys are going to do most of the work. I'm going to get credit for it, right? Because let me explain to you how it works. You do a lot of work, you put it on your eval. You put it on, I put it on the awards that I write for you. And then I take all that work and I put it on the first class eval, right? And I say that he led these things and he managed these things. And I make sure that he does. And then he put those on his awards too, because he led you guys in doing these. She led you guys in doing these. And guess what? Then I take all that and I put it on my eval too. Like, this shit rolls uphill. Okay. So my success is only measured by how good my team is doing. All right. Whether you want to say that is inspections, achievements during a deployment, sailor of the quarter, sailor of the years, whatever that is, awards, NAMs. And I've talked about this before. You got to plan that out. You got to find the quarter that your sailor is going to be most impactful, so you could make that package the most powerful, so powerful, package that you can, right? And make it just shine. And then you submit that, and you know you have it, and you're like, no, I fucking got this. I got this for my sailor. I got their back. We set them up. We knew that. We told them everything to do. They did it, right? And boom, we're here. And now they have those achievements, and my success isn't being measured by it, right? It's not. I don't look at it like anything hard. Chiefs foster environments of respect. Go back and check that Chiefing 101 video. I talked about that. Chiefs foster environments of respect, coaching, encouragement, continuous learning, and self-motivation. So this one, again, I think I have a little bit of issue with because foster environments of respect, that's not to me. Like, I'm the, look, a little bit of old school, what old school's left. I'm the fucking chief. You're going to respect me, right? You have to respect the rank. It doesn't fucking matter, okay? Second to that, like, I'm a man, you're a woman. Like, you have to respect that person as that, okay? But, like, within the organization of military hierarchy, like, shinier collar devices, you have to give more respect to. Doesn't mean you got to like them. Doesn't mean it, but it does mean a yes chief, no chief, I chief, whatever the fuck, okay? So I like fostering that respect. I just, that should be standard. That's standard military bearing to me. Okay. So if we want to get more into what I'd like to do, kind of going back to what I just said, like what I'd like to do is foster respect as that person, not as the chief, but like any of my sailors. I want them to respect me as Josh Moore. Okay. They're going to respect me as chief. Like, they have to, whether they like it or not. Like, there is something, and once they start not respecting me as a chief, then you go down those roads. Okay, that's fine. That's real professional business right there. But what I want them to respect me as Josh Moore. I want them to respect me as a person, as a man. Okay, I want them to respect that I have a family. And sometimes I'm gonna be out of here to go take care of family things, and I want them to know that I respect them as man, woman, as a person, and that when they say they have personal things going on, that I respect that and I afford them the opportunities and the times to go take care of those things. So to me, like that's the kind of fostering an environment of respect. Do not confuse that though with military bearing respect. Okay. Coaching, I don't like coaching. I think that's a catchy new phrase word. It's replaced mentoring. People say it's different. When do you ever hear mentoring anymore, though? They've thrown mentoring out. They've brought in coaching, whatever. I love mentoring. I love coaching. All right, I have a mentor, best friend. He helped me through my whole career. He mentored me, told me what to expect, how to be ready for it, how to approach it, and then told me to do it my way. Don't do it his way, but just gave me a lot of tools and told me to go do it. Okay. So just the word coaching, I don't like. It could be mentoring. It's the same thing to me. You let me know in the comments how it's different. Encouragement. Yes. Get the fuck to work. You encouraged enough? Let's go. All right. That's my baseline encouragement. All right. You can have other encouragement where you kind of sit more one-on-one and be like, okay, yeah, do that package, drop that. But again, to me, that goes back into the mentoring thing. If you're doing good mentoring, they should feel encouraged after they come out of that mentoring / conversation. Some mentoring, this was the problem with the mentoring thing, is they made it so formalized, no one did it. Every conversation that I have with a junior sailor or another chief, it don't matter. I look as an opportunity, as a mentoring opportunity, because maybe I share something with them that encourages them or that motivates them or that inspires them to go do something, right? So it doesn't have to be formal. It's just a conversation, okay? Let me wet my whistle. Continuous learning, again, that's a real catchy thing out there right now in the atmosphere about, you have to be always learning and this and that. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying I think some of these letters have things that are like, hey, make sure you put that in there. Make sure you put that in there, right? We don't forget these words that have to be in there. Oh, what is that called? I get emails about it for the show, for the channel. SEO. Let me know what SEO is, somebody. It's like the catchwords and phrases that are going to show up on Google. And these are those things that drive that. Okay. And self-motivation. All right. So again, so self-motivation, that's like the intrinsic. Some people have it, some people don't. How do you foster someone who has none? Right. That's the real um, challenge. There is someone who has no self-motivation. How do you foster the environment where they become? Maybe they don't. Right. And if you can recognize that early, they have no self-motivation, then that means they're going to be taking some of your time and energy to motivate them. Right. And then you got to get, tricky with it and to make sure they stay motivated. Or maybe they're just not motivated. Maybe they're like, you know what? I've been in the year. I'm getting out in 3. I'm not motivated for anything. That's cool. When I ask you or tell you to do something, I need you to do it. Don't fuck with me on that. I'm not going to fuck with you on your decision to get out. You've made the decision to get out. Cool. In between now and then, please get this work done. Thank you. Go do it. That's it. All right. Do your teams understand their achievements and how that success is being measured? Okay. That's a good one, right? I kind of touched on that already of like, here's one. Let me go into this. All right. How many of y'all have ever sat down and had a eval explained to you thoroughly? And by thoroughly, I mean it took at least an hour, because on each trait block, right, your LPO or your chief went through the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0 block, which is only actually too many, because 4.0 and 2.0s are blank, right? So it's 1 through 5s. And explained the trait and then what it says in 3. A 3.0 means you're doing this. A 5.0 means you're doing this. So how many of these things in the 3.0 are you actually doing for teamwork, for leadership, for expertise, technical expertise? You know what I mean? Whatever it is, pick one of the blocks, okay? If you've not read through the eval to that level of scrutiny, or done it for your sailors, you've not explained how their achievements and success is being measured. Okay? That is just an opinion. Go try it. See how long it takes. It takes a long time. Maybe get the whole division together to do it. That's something I used to do with my junior sailors when I did their midterms, right? Because I wanted to be sure, like, hey, no, look, I'm going to tell you right now, you're a 2. Because in the 1s, you're barely better than the 1s, but you're not doing all these things in the 3.0. And 3.0 just means you're promotable, okay? And this is just an extreme example to say that someone's only a 2. I guess not too extreme because they're out there, right? But, excuse me. So if you're saying you're in a 2, you're not in a 3, because these 5 little marks in that 3 box, you're only doing 2 of them. So how are you going to do those other 3? Now they have something to be like, oh, shit. Okay, now I get it. So there's that. Go and take that. Go do that. Do you prioritize your team's professional growth? Okay. No. Because when people read this, I think people read that, well, you got to make sure they're at the ELD courses and they're going to this school and that school. And I think people jump to like, oh, no, education school stuff, like Navy school, NEC stuff. What about just like the professional growth with like, no, like every time you do an inventory for me, it's the most fucked up. I go back and do a second count and I find 75% of your mistakes are just you not counting the 10. How about that? Like that baseline professional growth, right? Why am I going to send someone to an NEC school if they can't complete an inventory to the most accurate counting as possible? That's something to think about. Just using my rate as an example, think about your own rate. Think about what you do, okay? Do you track and schedule enlisted leader development courses for your sailors? Yes, everyone does, okay? And this, I think, is being thrown out there because for the last 2 years, it's been getting pounded of these are going to be required to advance. They already are, right? You have to have the PMKs done. Well, the PMKs are just the lead up to the ELDs. The ELDs are going to have to be done because they're going to be doing away with more and more advancement exams and going like, all right, well, did they do the ELD course? Because that's a check in the box so they could take the we're going back to CAP, command advancement, right? We're going back to that after 10 years of MAP or something. Okay. So we need to make sure they have the first class one done or second class ELD done, so we can map or cap them to this new billet and keep them on board at the new pay grade for 3 more years. So they do 8 years of sea duty or whatever it is. Okay, so that, and like I said, man, this has been getting tracked at least 2 years, from the force level down to the CMCs, and CMCs and everybody's asked about, like, this has to be done. This has to be done. Last command, CMC was always like, these sailors got to get this shit done. They got to be there. We have to do this fucking class because it's got to get reported, and the fleet looks like shit against it. Okay? So, like, it is being tracked. Now, you, Chief, there sitting there, on your own personal level, or how good you're tracking it, I don't know. Right? For me, I tracked it when CMC said, hey, these are the names that need to get it done by the end of the year, and we're going to do these classes. Then it was like, hey, you're going. Okay. That boat mistracked is done. Okay. Some of those functions, I think, need to stay in the right hands of, like, career counselors, things like that should be setting up these courses and everything, depending on what size of platform you're on, right? There's a person for that job. So when I say being tracked, one, complete it in your Divo notebook when it's done. Two, so that could be tracked there. But when that hit list comes out, are you making sure that your sailor is getting that hit list done as quickly as possible? Okay. That's funny. I had an alert there. All right, so let's get back to it. Excuse me. How about the Senior Enlisted Academy? No. Woo! I'm not even going to go into that because I've never been and I have nothing positive to say. Maybe because I've never been, but also because I've never heard anyone come back from it and say anything to the level of leadership, about leadership growth there. And what I mean by that is everyone that I've heard, I'd say a few close friends that have gone and they've come back and none of them been like, oh my God, bro, like, you need to go because what you're not realizing in leadership is this. And I just learned that at SEA. No one has told me that. Nobody. It's been like, oh, it's a great time. A lot of cool chiefs out there. Had a lot of drinks. If that's what it is, that's what it is. Cool. You do write some. One person did say, like, they wrote some cool papers. Like, they learned how to write papers real good. Okay. Do you. But again, that's just not for me. If you've been and you love it, let me know in the comments. Encourage me to go. I'm not going. Actively teaches and upholds and enforces standards. Yeah. Again, that's in bold. Like, I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Right? Like, do you read those nav admins and say, hey, this is that is this? I'll tell you what, though. The upholds and enforces is the hardest part. I could teach them all day. All right. The upholds, that's more of a self thing. Am I upholding it? Am I setting the example for that? In my opinion, and enforces. It is so hard to enforce something that keeps getting further and further away from enforceable. Right? It really is. I don't want to pick on this one too much, but how can you enforce, what is it, the 12, 14 millimeter eyelashes for the ladies? I'm all for the eyelashes. Go. I don't give a shit. Give them fucking eyelashes. How can you enforce that? You made something that's unenforceable. So what do I do? Tell me, what do I do for that? Hey, your eyelashes look too long. They're not, Chief. Okay. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Hey, hold on. Let me get bring me an eyelash that's not on your face so I could put it against a tape measure and measure it. What? So, again, I think we're just getting further away to make things better, and it's hard to enforce a lot of things, okay? And then when you get further away, then it just opens up like, oh, well, if I could do this, right, then I'm going to start doing this because it's almost the same thing, right? It's almost the same things. And then who's going to tell me anything? And then we'll just keep doing it until it becomes like this social norm throughout everywhere. And it just becomes accepted because it's not being enforced. And then it goes, hey, everyone's doing this anyways. We might as well just do a fucking nav admin to fucking update it. Okay, sure, why not? That's what I get from it. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Do you have the courage to be honest, humble, and transparent about individual or team performance? Yeah. I think if you have any problem answering a just quick and fast yes to that, woo, I don't know what you're doing here, right? I love to raise my hand and let people know how much my team is not doing good, how much I have failed to provide the training, right? Because that sets a bar real low, okay? And when you set that bar real low, it makes it a lot easier to come way up, bring it. Wait, you start down here? It's not even on camera. You below the camera, and then you bring it up here. That it makes you look like you know what you're doing. Okay, like this is it's like this part of the. I think this is maybe it's mentioned later. I forget if it's mentioned or not. I was looking for a word. I scanned through this. I didn't read it, but I scanned through it and I was looking for a word that stood out. Anyways, we'll come back to that. Do you have, all right, to honest, humble, transparent about individual or team performance? Yes. Are you truly the standard bearer? No. No, I'm not. No, you're not. Yes, some of us are. But which standard bearer, right? Like standard bearer for what? Again, I can say no because I try to look through things and through the lens of a junior sailor's eyes. Again, they might see one chief like, damn, that motherfucker fit. They jacked. They all about the fitness, and then they look at me and like that chief is chunky. Chief Moore's chunky, and then they look at that chief like, but that chief's never at work, and he's always in the gym when I need him. But damn, Chief's never in the gym, but he's always there when I need him. So which standard? Which the fitness standard? That's the dude. The technical standard? That's the dude. Right? Now, does that mean they should probably spend some time on in the other areas? Yes, that's what that means. They should probably spend some time in the other areas getting those weaknesses stronger, okay? But again, I can say it like right. I can say it. Yeah, I'm not the standard bearer in some things. Okay, what do you like? What do you want me to do about it? Make it better? Yeah, I'm actively engaged in that. Okay, actively working out. Okay, like excuse me. Um, Chiefs understand the careful balance of force and finesse. That's I thought I saw that the finesse word, force and finesse in upholding the standard. I just don't like the word in this sentence. Is what I don't like. I was looking for the finesse because when it says transparent about individual team performance, I was talking about setting the low bar then coming in high, right? That's you finessing people's perceptions and oh fuck, like damn, they're all fucked up, man. Okay, so they're gonna start thinking, all right, so we're barely gonna get past, but he said we'll get past. That's you like finessing them into that, and then when you come smoke it out the water, then you go to like, holy shit, okay, right? And again, it's not about you as a chief. It's about like, no, you got your sailors to do that work, and now they're gonna eat. All right, that's what that's about. They're gonna eat now, okay, because you finessed people's conceptions about you and your team, and boom, you there. So I like the word finesse in that one. I don't like it here with Chiefs understand the careful balance of force and finesse and upholding the standard. That standard, whatever it is, uniform regulations, the performance of your team, again, take it back to something simple in my rate, inventories, that standard, 98%. Okay. I don't need to finesse that. I don't really need to force it either, though, but it will be enforced through the pubs but the instructions and pubs and everything says how we're going to do these inventories and make them right. And the standard of circle sign date, mark off the quantity on the picking ticket, make sure you do the inventory at the picking ticket. Those things we're going to enforce, right, to make sure that those standards are met. We must also recognize when it is time to educate a sailor to a standard or when it is time for us to evolve to a newer standard. Again, so I think this is half repeat sentence about the careful balance between force and finesse. When it's time to educate, when you see them doing it wrong is when you educate, right? You could always read the nav admins when they first come out, and as LPO I used to, as a chief I haven't had that many sailors where I need to do things like that. right? And also, I gave it to my LPO to do because they need to learn how to do that, right? After the LPO reads it is when you kind of open up for questions. Hey, do you not understand this? Hey, and you give more feedback and try to amplify any questions that might be out there. So there's the initial education. But what I'm getting from this is educate a sailor to a standard is like when you see them being fucked up, and it's like, hey, look, I don't care what you saw on TikTok, that fucking haircut's not cool. Okay, that is not meeting the standard that's in the uniform regulations. That haircut's not it, man. So now you want to argue about it? You want to talk? Well, let's talk about it. Let's pull up the instruction, okay, and let's educate ourselves. Right? That's that time for that. Or when it is time for us to evolve to a newer standard. Look, MCPON, don't tease, man. Don't tease. Are we saying we're getting beards? Is this like a little Easter egg for the beards that are to come? If it is, let's give me a thumbs up on this video, okay? Because we're going to get beards. I think this is an Easter egg for beards. Could you see this? You see this is going to be so like 1/4 inch brown red with a bunch of white right here. It's going to be beautiful. We're getting beards, guys. We're getting beards because that's the newer standard. And we're going to have to be educated to it. That's what I'm taking away from that part. Integrity abides by an uncompromising code of integrity. Okay? Look. There's no way. Okay? There's no way. Because somewhere in your career, you did the wrong thing when nobody was looking. Whether it was like fucking throwing something overboard, signing the maintenance and it wasn't done, right? Whether it was, I don't know, fucking whatever your rate does, that's the common wrong thing. Everybody has done it. If you sit there and be like, no, I just goody two shoes the whole damn time, that might be someone that I don't trust because I just don't feel you. I just can't believe that's true, right? Like, I'm not saying like you've been in trouble or that you haven't, just come on, man. Like, you've done something wrong when nobody is looking. It could be something as simple as you've made an inappropriate joke that should not be made in the workplace when no one was around and it's just you and your homie, and you made that joke because everyone had left and you're like, I got a funny joke. I'm like, what? That's wrong, right? If we're going by this uncompromising code of integrity, and so it's not that we need integrity, right? But let's not glorify ourselves to angel status and take the human out of us to be like it's like we've never done anything wrong, because that sets us up for more failure, right? When sailors are seeing this and then we do something slightly off, that's all they need to be like, fucking liars, So we need integrity, but abides by an uncompromising code of integrity. I think that's a little far reach there. I think we could come up with something better to say that we I don't know, because this is always the line here: uncompromised code of integrity, right? Because many of us have been compromised before. Okay, like let's not lie about it. Okay, chiefs display loyalty to the mission and their seniors, peers, and those they lead. Okay, I'm with it, but also again, I'm not with it in the loyalty to the senior. I'm not. It's 50-50 for me. Okay, because if all those three are good, then yes, we should be loyal to them. Okay, if you have seniors that are shit, I'm not. This is like the blind loyalty, laying the keel lesson plan here. Okay, should be loyal. You shouldn't have blind loyalty. You shouldn't just be following them into whatever just because they're the fucking CMC or they're the captain and because they say so. If they're doing fucking wrong, go back up a little bit and see, are you humble and truthful enough or whatever? Where was it? Are you humble and transparent and honest enough about your individual or team performance? Guess what? Those senior people, they are part of the team. Sometimes the highest leading people of the team. Can you tell them hey, you're fucked up? Yeah, I can. Right? And then suffer the consequences for it because now they didn't like that, right? Because they're fucking children, right? And boo-hoo, they don't need you as a chief. They'd rather have you as a friend, okay? motherfuckers. Oh, I'll show you on the teddy bear where they hurt me. Same with your peers, especially in the mess setting, as we talk about it, right? Or can you fucking a loyalty only goes so far, but when you start calling them out, that all of a sudden you're not loyal to them. What do I need to be like? You fucked up, okay? Say again, and same thing with juniors, okay? Yeah. So this one, I just don't. I feel like it's a little misplaced. All right. What do you do when there is an ethical dilemma or a contradiction between your priorities? Uh, Ethical choices. Oh, see, so ethical choices are tough, man. Because everyone has different ethics. If you, where did I dive into this? I think it's a psychology thing. I don't know. I never took classes for it. But like when you talk about people's morals and their ethics and like where they come from and stem from for each individual, and the organizations that they're a part of and all this and that, right? You start diving into those things, you can really start being smart about it. Okay, so when there's an ethical dilemma, that could be, well, for whose ethics, for mine or for yours, because your ethics might be a little bit different from mine, right? But then we're going to be like, no, we're talking about for the organization's ethics. Okay, the organization says this, but my ethics say that I'm okay. But then usually when you get into ethics stuff, I do a lot of ethics training for supply. It starts talking about like a reasonable person. Okay, well, no, then you get to play what's a reasonable person. Well, that's fucking a jury of your peers as you get tried for the fucking unethical decision, right? If you want to go down that road, dilemma or contradiction between your priorities. Oh man, you better talk to somebody, right? Again, I know what my priorities are right now, and they do not align with the Navy. But I'm contractually obligated, so I still fulfill them, right? But with that, I make the long term planning to make that what my priority is, to make sure that it's always a priority on the schedule. Okay. Chiefs must be authentic. There's authentic again, and their actions have to be consistent with the team's values and priorities. So I think that's good because when you start talking about team stuff, you could go big and you could go like command team, right? And then you can also go smaller to your own division team or anything like that, right? So, excuse me. Yeah, it's one of those like I don't want to say be careful, but we could really get mixed up on how many priorities and dilemmas and things like that we start running into when you start talking using very broad words like team. Okay, now you should be aligning everything with the overall mission and the team that is the shipmate self kind of stuff, right? I think we lose sight of that sometimes. But what we shouldn't be losing sight is the Chiefs be authentic in their actions. All right. Uh, what people don't like though is when your authenticity goes against what the team's mission is, because your ethics or your priorities are against cutting across the grain on that. Okay. So you got to learn how to navigate that. I can't tell you how to do that because I'm not you. I'm not your command. I'm not around the same people. Okay. But you need to, that's something you have to be aware of and think about. Do you also need to act with question. Do you also need to act with transparency? Yes. Like we just talked about up there, right? It's late. Kind of. All right. Chiefs must be authentic. Do you also need to act with transparency? Yes. But then okay, let's go with the no. Why would you not act transparent? With who? Maybe transparent with junior sailors about outcomes of boards and things like that. Maybe you're not being transparent because during a board you want a certain sailor to win, so you're not being transparent in your grading, which transparent could equal to fair. Okay. Um, Takes full responsibility for their actions. All bold right here, right? Yeah. Again, if you don't know how to stand up there as a first class and be like, yes, that's on me, right? And usually, most time, it doesn't. You're not standing up there. Usually, your chief is going up there and saying it's their fault. But if you don't learn how to do that as a first class to your chief and divo or your chief and department head, right? And make sure they understand that you understand how it's your fault, right? Or how you played a part in it being your fault. you're way late. Okay, because Chief is gonna go up there and they're gonna take it, right? I hope. I hope they're not throwing you under the bus. If they are, they shouldn't be here, right? Someone fucked up and got the selection wrong. Chief should be genuine and always look inward first to ask what else they can be doing to enable better outcomes. Yeah, again, so a lot of this, like this one is just kind of like, to me, it's like no shit, duh. But also, like, why does it tie into integrity? I guess is the better question that I'd like to wrap my head around. Why are these questions being thrown under integrity? Because is it not about so much doing the right thing when no one's looking, but the integrity within yourself to, what's the words? Someone help me. Is the integrity within yourself to just it's not do the right thing, right? Chiefs should be genuine. Always look inward first to ask what else they can be doing to enable better outcomes. I think it's just look inward to yourself and be honest, right? That honest self-awareness with yourself to be like, no, I'm not doing the best I can to make things better. I'm coming in and I'm fucking I'm what do they call it? I'm just fucking sandbagging or whatever, right? I'm cool. Yeah, I'm mustard. Yeah. Get the work list done, and then you're out. Okay. Do you pass the buck or own the problem? There are a lot of buck passers, right? A lot. And I think people think when they start talking, they're like, "I'm about to own this. It's on me," and then the words that come out of their mouth are not that at all. It's weird, like especially like during the CPO season, you start to see it. They're about to say it. They're about to own their mistake, and then it just like goes off the rails and right. Simple, small, short sentences and words. Yes, yes, sir. It's my fault. Yes, ma'am. I fucked that up. I made the decision and it was wrong. And you just leave it at that, right? Like you don't. I had to check some. You don't need to go past that. Like I think that's what when you start trying to explain, you're not explaining. That's when excuses start coming out, and then it's like, oh, there we go. All right, so it wasn't your fucking fault. It was all the shit excuses you just gave me. If you just keep it short and precise, yes, my fault. I made a mistake. It was my decision. It was the wrong decision. I'll correct it. Usually it ends up with all right, thank you. Dismissed. Go correct it. And then you need to go get the fuck to work and beat your head over the bulkhead about it. Okay? Are you doing so publicly so to model the behavior? Ooh. Okay, so this is a good one, right? Because how many of us leaders at any level when they take that and let's say they own it just like I gave you the example, okay, and they're like, "Yep, fucked up, made a mistake, my fault." Okay, do they go back and let the division know, "Hey, look, I had you guys do something. It was unsafe. It was my decision. I put you guys in harm's way. I put you in danger. It shouldn't have happened. That's my mistake. It won't happen again." And you let them know, or do you just go back and be like, "All right, guys, good evolution, all right, and yeah, we had some things go wrong, but hey, you got to make sure you're tending that line, and you got to make sure." And then it's like, all right, cool, debrief over, and let's get back to work. Which one is it? All right. I think the first one, that's what we're talking about, modeling that behavior, right? That's the humility. That's the owning it. That's the transparency of things. Could you maybe lose a sailor that be like, "Man, fuck Chief. They almost got me, blah, 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 blah." Maybe. Are more of those sailors going to be like, "Damn, man, Chief a real one. They know they fucked up and they still came out here, let me fix this." And they owned it. I don't know. I know I always appreciated when my senior chiefs kept it real with me. Now, I don't think they made too many of those mistakes, but when they had me do something and I went and did it, kind of no questions asked, and then I felt it was all done, and like, "Oh shit, actually, we shouldn't have done it that way. That's my bad." And sometimes it's something as simple as that. Hey, you know what? I didn't need you to do that. I fucked that up. That's my bad. Sorry. Let me help you fix it or do it over. Okay. So that's that. Let's get back to it. Where we at? Are you doing so publicly so to model the behavior? Do you have the moral courage to raise issues and the strength to support the outcome? Sets a positive tone and builds trust. This one I have some issues with. Personal issues, right? Of my own experiences. Not that the MCPON is writing this, okay? I think this is something that is should be touched on because this is something that happens out here, all right? We look at this. Do you have the moral courage to raise issues? Yes. That for me personally, that's an easy yes, okay? And I hope that is for you too. All right, and if it isn't, you know how you can get that moral courage is before you raise the issue with everybody, raise the issue with one person. Okay? And do a little sanity check. Hey, am I crazy? This is what I was thinking. Am I crazy? Am I way offline here? And if they go, nah, I was thinking the same thing. There's two of you in the mess now. You're not alone. Okay? You're not alone. You got two. Now, if you go get a third, all right, now you got a tripod. Now you're real strong. Now you're stable. So now you have people. This isn't that are all three of you were thinking the same thing. All three or four, however many you go get. You can't go too wide before it gets out of what you want to do, which is bringing up the issue, right? Because you want to bring these issues up. Sometimes you might want to bring them up private, but sometimes you might want to bring them up public in front of the whole mess. Okay. Now, bitch assness comes into play when you got people that are like, no, you should only bring issues to me in private. Why? If we're in the mess, that should be as private as it gets. I don't give a fuck how many of us are in there. We're in the mess. You probably want me to bring it up private because it's a failure of your own, or you feel that it's a failure of your own, and you feel that you're being called out about it, and you don't like that because you're weak, and you don't want the mess to see you as weak. But instead of taking the humility, the humble pie bite, and being like, yeah, actually, you know what? That is something that's wrong. That's something that's messed up. You want it in private so you can try to fix it or get rid of it in private so it's never brought to light. That doesn't strengthen the mess at all. That only weakens the mess. And then eventually sailors are going to see it or they're going to hear or whatever, whichever way you want to split it. It doesn't turn out good. Okay. So that's where, do you have the moral courage to raise issues? Absolutely. That's an easy day. And the strength to support the outcome? No. Because in the example I just gave of when you raise issues, okay, some issues are good to be like, we could take issues as like a positive issue, a good issue. We got Anthony Ivester joining the broadcast. What's up, Anthony? Hey, salute to you, sir. All right. That's my boy. Issues could be a lot of different things, right? Okay. I don't want to disclose. I brought up an issue once about scoring for of the year board. Okay. I had the moral courage to do it. All right. The strength to support the outcome? No, I fucking, the outcome was fucking shit. The outcome was someone took what was discussed in mess, didn't like it, and provided their own outcome to others. And that was the final outcome. So did I have the strength to support that? No, I didn't support that at all. And again, let's not confuse things. Okay. I'm so unimportant. I understand the mess does not make the decision. The captain does. So that's the captain's decision. I can support the captain's decision. What I'm not going to sit back and support is anybody else between me and the captain going in there and saying bullshit and lies about what the mess decided or didn't decide. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the strength to support that. Okay. I'm not going to support that, as it said up here, loyalty to seniors and peers. Nope. Fuck you. Where was your loyalty back this way? Right. And once you start seeing those things, that's where you'll start losing loyalty in those different places. And it's sad and unfortunate. Right. Because instead of making recommendations and having the support or the strength to support a mess decision that is a recommendation, You lose all that when the support isn't given back to the mess. Okay, so just a little something there. Set a positive tone and builds trust. Okay, we kind of talked about that already. Well, I don't want to gloss over that. It's in bold. Sets a positive tone and builds trust. Man, again, so I think let's go back a little bit when I talked about, like, if you're in my division, if you're in my sphere of influence, I'm doing that every day. Okay. Few people can match my energy. This means, like, I'll ring my own bell here. All right, can match my energy when I step on deck. Okay. When I step into the office, whatever it is. All right, that's why BMCs, man, I fuck with the BMCs and usually the DCCs too, because they're high energy, like they have to, because the evolutions are intense. I'm only just a little less, but like those are my other two favorite chiefs most of the time, because they're up there with that, like especially the DC, like they're always training, always like, yeah, like the fire, like I love that shit. Deck, yeah, he's always out there fucking cursing. Shout out my boy Carlos and Jesse, right? Like they're always out there, like, yeah, fucking moving, like equipment, beep, 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 and all that fun stuff, right? So, that's to me a positive tone. If you're in my sphere of influence, right? If you're outside of that sphere of influence, you're probably like, no, those fucking chiefs are assholes. No, they're fucking mean. They're always fucking yelling and cursing and blah blah blah. And it's like, like, I'm glad you're a fucking, a FC or an IT or some shit, because I couldn't stand you in my division. But I'm glad you have a chief that, leads you in your division. Good up. Thumbs up to you. All right, chiefs honor, reward, and value each member of their team. Okay. Like, some of these things, some people think this shit should be longer. I think it could be shorter, because, like, I think that's a throwaway sentence. Okay. Reward and value, yeah, honor. Like, what does that part of it mean? Like, how do we honor that? Like, man, I'm here. I'm all about getting you written up for an award, right? I'm, again, as I've said many a times, I'm gonna get that write up. I'm gonna get you to do the work so I can make that write up real nice and easy. Okay. Because I want you to get that award. When I go to a awards board, I don't want people asking questions. I want them to see the write up and they be like, "Fuck, man, that's a lot of shit in that write up." Hey, is it all true? It's all true. Okay, cool. Yeah, thumbs up, right? And make it nice and easy. Okay. We're almost done here. Chiefs also understand that for there to be team trust. Oh, we got another one. Tap water. Anthony, what's this guy rambling about? Tap water. It's just a ramble. You wouldn't understand. You sound like your prior army or something. Chiefs also understand for there to be team trust, each member of the team must also act with integrity and not trespass against the team's values and priorities. Again, I know we're on the integrity paragraph here, but like, this is just more, I think, just extra words in here, kind of. Okay. Each member of the team must also act with integrity. Yes, like, duh. I got some funny comments going on. They distracted. Anthony Ivory says he likes to hear himself talk. Yes, I do have myself in my headphones. I sound pretty good. Thank you, T.I. If I would have had the hotline up, I have you motherfuckers call in. How do you, so integrity and not trespass against the team's values and priorities. I think that's a pretty good one on there, right? I don't like the verbiage used, but I think one of the worst things you can start getting is when you get a sailor that is, for whatever reason, just cross the grain, always against, oh, that's a stupid idea. That I don't like that. No. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, you're fucking up. Like, you're the problem right now. A lot of times, those ones get sent to ER09 or cranking. Well, we got more chat going on. He needs to let us on. Wait, let me get it. Let us on the mic. Nah, T.I., you ain't get on the mic. You need to come visit. You get on the mic. We got a hey, Prior Army Hunt. Yeah, Tapwater here. Tapwater, he's been on the show before. I'm just gonna call him Tapwater because that's fucking funny to me now. He was an old shit. Both these guys are old shitmates of mine from our first duty station, Signella days, when we're a lot less cooler, How do you encourage conversations so that your teams have shared values and priorities? Again, I think we're just like these last couple here are just, we're talking about teams, values, and priorities. Teams, values, and priorities. I think they wanted to, this was supposed to be 1,893 words, and they start double talking in here to make it fit. T.I. funny. With the homies in the chat, it's funny. I'm gonna leave this P-Town one up because if you know, you know. Originally from the great area of P-Town. That's fucking funny, Anthony. You funny. How do you exemplify, model, and reward behaviors that aligns with those shared values and priorities? Again, I think we're just rambling on here at this point. Fuck, we're still not done. Holy shit. Accountability. Yeah, I think we got way long on the fucking integrity there. That could have been a lot shorter. Accountability, mission focused and accountable for outcomes. Okay. Chiefs understand that they must fully own the decisions and be accountable for the results. We kind of already touched on this in the integrity part, right? So I think we had a word number that we needed to get to, and we just kept going for shits and gigs. Being accountable requires us to think, and I think we could have done accountability, responsibility, and gotten rid of the integrity. Not that it's not important, but responsibility and accountability are the things that we have, right? Being accountable requires us to think critically, as well as more accurately assess both our actions and the outcome. Okay, yeah. Let me see what else we got in the chat here. Oh, that's funny. Tap says, I lived in P-Town for a little bit, left that place ASAP. Yeah, I left that place too. I don't blame you, Tap. I don't blame you. But yeah, see? Hey, P-Town rings out. Even in the chat knows about P-Town. Being accountable requires us to think critically as well as more accurately. Okay, read that. Do you only take credit when there's a positive outcome? Again, I think we already kind of we're double dipping here with the integrity paragraph. So I'm just not sure why we didn't do responsibility, accountability, and then talk about those things as they should have been. So I'm not going to like rehash some of the answers to this. Okay. We got here one more chat here. Robbie outs for Heisman. The whole memo could be replaced with a simple sentence saying, do the right thing. Yeah, I mean, Robbie, you're not wrong, right? But then you'd get people, yelling at the sky about what does the right thing mean? And like, I try not to be like that because the right thing is different every fucking decision you make, right? So, you can't just do the right thing. Although I agree with you, as in like it could be a lot shorter, right? But do the right thing is different for every scenario. Do you only take credit for when there is a positive outcome? No, I take less credit. Okay. Are you the ultimate owner of your team and their performance? How do I read that? That has to be in the sense of negative. It cannot be positive, because if you say that in the sense of positive, then you come off as only taking credit when there's a positive outcome. Okay, so this has to be in a negative context here, as how I read it. Okay, you have to take the ownership of your team and their performance when it's negative, all the time, every time, and when it's positive, that it should be water off a duck's ass, fucking just washing off you, and you talking all about your sailors about how fucking great they did. Okay, actively self-assess and had a strong commitment to self-correction. Okay. Self-assess, yeah, right. Some people ask, well, how do you do that? I don't know. How do you do it? Do you ask for feedback? Do you not have CDBs? Do you not have conversations with peers, with seniors? I think sometimes, as Tap and T.I. said, like, I'm just here to hear myself talk. But when you're having these conversations with people, do you not go back and think about the conversation you had and be like, fuck, man, like that, they had a good point about that. How does that really impact me? How do I change that? How do I improve that? Or anything like that? Like, what the fuck? Okay. So I don't know. To me, again, I was mentored. Okay. Since T.I. and Tap knew me, I've been mentored. They know the guy too. All right, Danny Borum. That's my best friend. All right, that's my dude. Okay, he helped raise me in the Navy. Okay, and he's the one that taught me, hey, these are things I see in you. Do you see them in you? Okay. Do you know that you do these things? Do you know that you have a problem with this? Do you know if you have a problem with that? What are you doing, Josh, to fix that, to be better at that? Things like that. Okay. So back to coaching, mentoring, whichever you want to call it or say, that if you can look, I'm not a fucking open a book and read it person and absorb things through learning like that. Okay. That's just me. Maybe it's you. If that's you, go crack those books. All right. Put in your package, become an officer. Okay. But if you have that mentor and that coaching, as we like to say now in the Navy, that's what it should be. It should be a mirror. So when you're saying things, they can make you realize what you're saying, and you could go back and sit with it and be like, fuck, like, okay, I didn't know that. So why am I doing that? Why do I act like that? Why do I have that problem? How do I correct that problem? Hey, you know what? Actually, mentor, hey, how do I correct that? How do I correct that? Have you had this same problem? How did you correct it? Blake, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much for those kind words, man. Just trying to do something out here, you know. And TS, and you return the favor. Yeah, I got some homies in the chat right now bringing up the good old days, and it's good. It's funny. It's a good laugh. Sometimes you need that. Oh, Russ, that dude's funny. All right, let's get back to it. All right, actively self-assess and have a strong commitment to self-correction. As I was saying, like, ask. You got to ask. Hey, how did you do it? How could I do it? Have you seen other people correct it? How they correct it? And then you take it on. And you figure it out for yourself how you're going to do you. Because you cannot pretend to fix it the same way other people did. Okay? Maybe you're using the same methods or something, but it's still yours for that moment. So how are you doing that? Okay? Chiefs know their actual capabilities and limitations and are committed to self-improvement. Okay? I think the actual capabilities, I kind of dismiss it real quick, but their actual capabilities and limitations, man, there's a lot of people out there that don't know that throughout the Navy. Okay. My limitations are not the mile and a half run anymore. It's not happening. That's a limitation. Okay. I'm not doing that. I could do that bike though. I could do that row. Okay. So what are yours? And I just use those things because it's a very obvious thing here. Okay. So I just want to be like blunt, make fun of it. It's cool. But that's a simple thing. Okay. What we got right here. Introspection is invaluable. Yeah, I guess that's a word, introspection. Talk to me more about it, Anthony. Drop it in the chat. All right. I think it's when we don't know our what they call them in the Navy here, capes and limbs, is when we start overplaying ourselves, right? And we start stretching ourselves thin, and that's when we get stressed out and everything goes bad and blah, 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 and it turns bad. Know your own capes and limbs, okay? If I know my capes and limbs I'm not going to be able to write 15 evals in the 2 weeks, I better start a month out. Okay. I better ask for help. I better get my LPOs writing some, right? So I can start chopping more than writing. Okay. They address their underperformance. Yes. They seek and accept feedback to be self-aware so they may lead boldly and with clarity. So I like that. All right. They seek and accept feedback. Kind of what I said earlier. I'm always one to like, go run it past somebody else, okay, and say, hey, am I crazy or not? All right, give me feedback so I can self-check. Am I going off the rails here with this? I'm not meaning like high and right. I'm just like, is my thinking just way out of bounds here? Okay, especially where I'm at now. I'm totally unaware of how things are done around here. So I'm raise my hand, ask the question, hey, I got a question. Is this question stupid? And I've been getting a lot of like, yeah, that's stupid because we don't do that here. I was like, okay, then if it's not done here, then I guess I won't ask it, or okay, I'll just move on. They take ownership and never abandon their responsibilities. Okay. Do you encourage feedback and conduct after action and assessments? Yeah, I mean, and that's like such easy. And I don't like that to be like a the end of day muster. Fuck. Like I ain't gonna say I've never done it, but I don't like to like I like it to be quick and down and dirty. Like, hey, like, is everyone here? Did we lose anybody today? Did something like it's more? It's not an end of day muster for them. It's an end of day muster for me in the sense of did something happen throughout the day that I did not get done or did not track that I lost track of that I need to do for you so I could go do that now while you go home. That's what I do like end of day muster for, right? Um, Sometimes if we're like, the hey, what did get done, what didn't get done, all right, yeah, we'll do that shit tomorrow. But I want to know so I could go do it myself right now, or we could pass it down to the duty person because I'm a firm believer in that. Duty person got it, everyone else go home. Okay. A lot of people don't do that no more. A lot of people are like, no, duty's not for the work. Fuck out of here. Yeah, they are. Okay. Not for the don't put off work and pass it the buck to them, but they're here to take care of things. Okay. Um, we got to start wrapping this up. Do you consciously use problem solving methods to determine root causes of problems? That's a slick way of get real, get better. And I'm a fan of getting real. I'm a fan of getting better. I'm not a fan of how we use those words together for a program that they're trying to do. In addition to those captured in our MVGPs and other character attributes of necessary for chiefs, what about perseverance, empathy, decisiveness, authenticity? Again, so these are just more words that we're going to throw out there to discuss in the mess about how those impact things. We got some from TI here. Oh, this is long. The process for examining one's own thoughts, feelings, and motivations is often considered invaluable for several reasons. It serves as a powerful tool for personal growth, enhance emotional intelligence and decision making, improve decision making, etc. Okay, no, I like it. I don't get me wrong, I just wanted you to expand more on it so I could put it on the chat so everyone can see it. Okay, so that's great. What else we got? The character of a chief should be beyond reproach. Again, I we've all made mistakes. All right, many of us, more than 98% have made 99 to 98% have made mistakes. If we pin us like this, it is easy to fall from such a great height. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be held in somewhat of an esteemed position to lead our sailors, but we should not be held in such an esteemed position that we are invaluable and not human, that we don't have problems and mistakes. Okay. One more from TI. By dedicating time to reflecting on our inner thoughts and feelings, we cultivate self awareness, emotional intelligence, and deeper understanding of our relationships and decisions. I guess TI with that is like what a lot of people don't understand or don't know. How do you do that? Where do you start to do that? Maybe it's by just reading those comments and digging deeper. Right. Again, I'm not a psychologist. I've never talked to one. I can't give those answers to people. Right. All I can say is like maybe you need to sit back and when people are telling you things about how you're fucked up on this or you're fucked up on that, ask them more questions about why and things like that. Basically just do your best to know the most about yourself. There you go. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for putting it in small chief terms. Okay, because you were really going off the page 459 of your college thesaurus there. Okay, thank you. That's it. Do the best to know the most about yourself. I like that. I might pin that. All right. Let me see what else we got here. The character should be on reproach. All right, that one again. I just kind of, if we're so high up, we're gonna fall. Leaders of character inspire trust and build confidence in our combat teams. Absolutely, we must hold ourselves and each other accountable to ensure our collective character is maintained in good standing and continues to enable the instant trust that comes with our angers. Yes, I think we could have done away with the beyond reproach line. Just get rid of that first sentence. Leaders of character inspire trust and build confidence in our combat teams. We must hold ourselves and each other accountable to ensure our collective character is maintained in good standing. That's what it is for me right there. Okay. Because sometimes we lose it. And sometimes it's us looking right at you right now that that contribute to that loss. Okay, in whatever small sense, big sense, it doesn't matter. We've all contributed to that loss of character, and then we've fought to get it back. Okay, good standing continues to enable the instant trust that comes with the acres. Yep, that's it. And signed MCPON James Honia. I think that's still how you say it. But anyways, that's it. We're at an hour 20. I ain't gonna give you a long intro. All right, let's cue up that music because I got it. All right, and let's thank you for joining us tonight. I think we had the most viewers ever. I appreciate that. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up if you're still here with us. If you got past 30 seconds, give it a thumbs up there. All right. Appreciate everyone stopping by the chat. Ti, Tapwater, Blake. Appreciate y'all. And Robin. Thanks for stopping by, dropping a comment. Appreciate everyone. Oh my, that's the short music. We do that again. That's long music. Yeah, just give it a like, share it if it touched your heart. Click subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications, and share it with someone else so it can touch their heart too. All right, yo, we out. Thank you.